Okay, we are live.
Thought I could leave you, 'cause I felt my heart numbing. It hit so deep, I closed my eyes and I just took off running. I turned around and saw the look on your face. So I stay. But I don't need you, and you should know that, baby. It'd take a miracle for you to really try and change me. Then I felt sorry for the look on your face. So I stay. So I stay. So I stay. You wanna leave her, don't wanna hurt nobody. I don't believe a single word you say that you're sorry. Why can't I say no to the look on your face? I just stay. So I stay. So I stay. Push me away, but I will stay, yeah. Push me away, but I will stay, yeah. Push me away, but I will stay, yeah. Push me away, but I will stay, So I stay. So I stay. I stay, why do I stay? So I stay.
Hello, everybody. Boy, do we got a show for you all today.
folks. We got Will Chamberlain coming. Starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers. Superstar Will Chamberlain. All right, we got a dark outfit today, man. What a week, folks. What a week. What a week. What a week. So much has transpired. I gotta take this jacket off. That's ridiculous. Too much. Sorry, guys. It's summer. Hot boy summer. Anyways. What do you guys think about this new music jam I got coming into the show every hour like this? Kind of my vibe now, you know? I like it. I ease into the broadcast from a more benign place. God, so much has happened. I'm gonna have to boot up some files for you guys because I'm a little bit shocked by the ways of the world. Okay. Judge Napolitano came out as a Khazari Jew believer that the Jews are Khazarians. I can't believe this, man. We're going to go over that in our show with Will today. We're going to cover so much more on anti-Semitism and the world. And like I've been saying for a long time, anti-Semitism is dying. It's dead. It's actually over. Right now, we're just witnessing the end of anti-Semitism. The leaders have all fallen. Where's Candace Owens? Has anybody seen or heard from Candace Owens in the nearest while? I haven't had a single show of hers pop up on my timeline. There's some serious stuff going on, folks. There's some serious stuff going on. God. A lot of people are talking about Andrew Tate being arrested. Nobody wants to tie it to Candace. Nobody wants to tie it to Candace. But we do. We had that show with Ryan Morrow. Big shout out to the Seagulls who tuned in from out of town to that episode, the Ryan Morrow episode. Used that information to further their investigations into Candace Owens. Big shout out to them. Codename Seagull. Elders of Zion. Publicly in your face. Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Pow, 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 pow. Gosh. I couldn't believe the Napolitano thing, guys. I'm going to play that with Will here because I got to also find the clip. But I was just so shocked that Judge Napolitano out of everybody. And maybe he's wrong. Maybe they clipped it together. You know, I'll pull up the file. We'll see it in a minute. But yeah. Oh, here. There's more on Napolitano from this guy. This is see-through it all. He posted this Napolitano post. And we'll play that in the segment. I found it. I got it pulled up. I'll play it for you guys now.
Bendiv, by the way, Netanyahu, Gallant, Smotrich, Bendiv, all you little arrogant boys.
This is Gerald Salante.
Plus, from Ben Gurion to Golda Meir, none of you are Semites. You're Ashkenazi Jews.
This Italian
Eastern
schmuck.
Europe, northeast of Turkey. You're Khazars. The Semites are Palestinians from the Mesopotamia
This
region.
schmuck.
Is that correct, Judge?
Yes, it is.
And
historically
Napolitano says
and
yes.
etymologically correct. They don't care. They'll tarnish anybody with anything. Look, you put your finger on it with two observations you've been making for years. One is he who pays the piper calls the tune.
By the way,
You hear that? I don't know exactly if there's more to the clip. I don't know exactly what the whole thing was about between Napolitano and Gerald Scalante, I think his name is. I used to watch him, another InfoWars shill, host of the Fourth Hour, Alex Jones is Dugan's Fourth Hour with Alex Jones. You know, it's just all these guys. They all came out the same thing. The Jews! The Jews are not the real Jews. It's the Khazars, folks. It's the Khazars. Ay, gewaltig. Ay, gewaltig. They think we are Khazars, brothers. They think we are Khazars. I got a big show coming up on Thursday. I got my Khazarian brother, Jake Turks, White House chief correspondent for Ami Magazine. We're going to be Delhi broadcasting. It's going to be the Delhi cast. Because we're really like, you know, it's a Khazarian thing to do. Eat at delis and stuff like that. We play with our Khazarian dreidels at our Khazarian delis. My God. God have mercy on them. Please have mercy on them. They know not which they do. They really know not which they do. And Scalante's like, the Khazars! I remember him. The trends. Let me tell you the trends. I remember watching that guy for years on Alex Jones. Man, every one of these Russian shows, and I'm sitting over here like the only guy a part of that network that was not a part of that program. And whatever, I was on like certain things, but like other things, I mean, like they have just like completely like gotten it wrong time after time after time after time after time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niheh b'dvaro. But Alex doesn't want to quit it, man. He's going so hard. I can't even believe Alex Jones these days. Like, how much debt does he have? Like, what's going on under the hood? Who's he taking it from? Complete 180. He says Israel is responsible for sending the Muslim migrants into Spain. Now, folks, I want to put things into context because everybody's freaking out, right? They're like, those are 50,000 more people in Europe. No, Ceuta is the northern tip of Africa. Okay? This is Spanish Africa. So let's just have it straight for a second. Okay? We're not saying this and that. Yeah, it is an invasion. It's a takeover of Ceuta. Ceuta is no longer Spanish. They lost Ceuta the way that the Ukrainians lost Crimea. And have held on to it for so long for Donetsk and Luhansk as well. You know, and they just cling to it. 1.6 million deaths has occurred as a result of just waiting to see, because these people wanted to be with Russia. So, look, Russia's not like devoid of some truth in the matter, just like the West is not devoid of some fault in the matter, you know, when it comes to the war in Ukraine. But I do think that Israel, as being a part of the West, and an Iran that falls, is like, who cares about Ukraine at that point? I mean, yes, we care about Ukraine. It's the gateway to Europe. Russia's kind of like a European country. It's like the Europeans that were kicked out of the club and had to go hang out with the Asians for so long. That's Russia. You know, and they did, and they survived out there against the others, you know. Attila the Hun. He was a Hun. He was Hungarian, folks. Attila the Hun, you know. So, anyways, these Europeans, you know, I do think if you look at there's this book, Revenge of Geography by Robert Kaplan. Brilliant book. The guy's really a brilliant geopolitical strategist. And he has this theory that basically the geopolitical relief map will always dictate. It will always dictate future national borders. For instance, if there is, like in the case of Ceuta, if there is a a piece of Spain on a geographical landmass as Africa, that eventually the geographical border will defeat the national border. And he's right. In his book, Revenge of Geography, he uses the example of a river and the situation in India, where part of India and the Pakistan conflict are where one will have different parts of a riverbed and it'll extend into another territory, when if just the river was the landmark, it would be enough. You know, it would ease the tensions. And eventually tensions will eventually ease along geographical borders. So in the situation that you see in Ukraine, if you look at the Russian plains of Ukraine, like Luzhensk, Donetsk, if you've ever been to Ukraine, I've been to Ukraine 4 times. Beautiful country. But the areas that they want to take are kind of like the plains on the way to Kiev. And Kiev is the capital city, rightfully so, geographically situated. But before then is like the Russian plains almost. You know, and controlling those plains for Ukraine give Europe strategic advantage if it ever needs to incur into Russia. It's kind of like a Cuba situation. And that's why Donetsk and Luzhensk matter to the West, is because they don't want to give up that strategic advantage. And so far, the desire for that strategic advantage, even though those people felt more Russian than they did Ukrainian to begin with, that has been worth 1.6 million lives. And everybody's screaming, genocide in Gaza. You know who's pushing the narrative for genocide in Gaza? Russia. Do you want to know why Russia's pushing the narrative for genocide in Gaza? Because it detracts from the massive genocide in Ukraine. And largely the war has been kept on the fronts. It's a traditional war. A war where the lives of the people in the city move on. People go out at nightclubs in both Moscow and Kiev. People go back and forth from Kiev to Moscow. But on the front, they're just massacring each other left and right. I saw this Australian GoPro war footage kind of streamer who was streaming a piece of the battle. I can't watch that shit. It's so real and it's just not fair. You know, that it's treated like that. I remember during the war against ISIS, a war that I was deeply involved with on the Kurdish side. I had American friends such as my friend Jordan Matson, who's a tremendous hero, who would go over to Kurdistan. And at one point, I knew at least 25 people that went over to Kurdistan, Christians, to go defend Christian sites, to go fight off Islam and defend Christians, Western Christians like Jordan Matson. There were many others. I just don't want to get into them. There was even a Jewish guy. I love him. We're still friends to this day. I'm not going to disclose his name. But Jordan Matson's a real public figure, so it's not such a big deal. But Jordan, oh my God. I knew him before he met his wife. He married a Kurdish woman. Totally moved, like yippee gay, like YPG. I mean, the guy is the guy's incredible. He's an incredible man. He actually was a U.S. military soldier. This is how America makes us, folks. We are of a different breed. He joined the military. He was just like a regular platoon army guy. Got out of the military, went to work as a mechanic, saw Christians being massacred by ISIS, Islamic forces, and went to go fight them, to defend his people and his faith. And he put his life on the line. He killed many ISIS people. Unbelievable soul. I know others too. I know a lot. Many from different countries. It was like a whole movement. It was like a whole movement. And it was like a whole movement. And God, man. It was because of that work. That work, I was got me into the Mueller. When John Mueller was doing his investigations. True story. There was like a good month of the Mueller investigations where Ken Vogel was hawking the Chinik, trying to get me for anything he could on Elliot Broidy. Ken Vogel, the guy from New York Times and Politico. He's married to that woman. He got my number, blew up my phone, made threats. They all made threats to me. Big time threats. I think that guy has a Pulitzer also. But I told him I trolled him hard on the phone. I was like, this is what got me into the Mueller investigation. I was like, Ken. It wasn't Ken Vogel. It was the other Vogel. I think Ken Vogel was... I think it was Ken Vogel. I know his name was Vogel. He's married to the Haberman girl. Yeah, Ken Vogel. New York Times. So he was like, I had a girl that night. I had this girlfriend at the time, and I wanted to impress her, and he called, and it was morning, and I answered the phone. And he was like, is this Adam King? And I was like, yes, this is Adam King. And I was like, can you tell me what happened? Are you the Adam King that's listed in the files that were dropped from the desk of Elliot Broidy? And I was like, hello, who is this? He's like, we have reason to believe that you were involved in... And I know who I am. I'm like such a troll, dude. Look at me on the internet. Awesome Jew is the greatest troll that ever existed in the history of humanity. If there was a troll awards of the best trolls that ever existed of all time, Awesome Jew is like number one on the charts. Hands down. Hands down the greatest troll that ever took place in the history of the internet. Awesome Jew. So I've always been like this kind of troll. And I trolled Ken when he called me. I had this girl here, and I was like, I just thought he was like some, I didn't even know who he was at the time. I thought he was some junkie reporter. And, okay, send the show link. I don't see it. Let me regenerate this show link. We got a little technical difficulty here, folks, but we are almost there with our guest. So, he told me, he wanted me to tell him, and I looked at him, and I was like, I had the phone, and I said, Ken, I can't live with myself anymore. I gotta come clean. And he's like, what is it? And I was like, I gotta come clean, Adam. I gotta come clean, Ken. I can't live with myself. It was me. I was the one who introduced Trump to Putin. This was like Trump versus one. And they like just got so into me. It was like a month. He wanted to punish me with the weight of the Mueller investigation. So Ken Vogel, that little rat bastard. Next thing I knew, it was like a whole month of shit from the government, pressure. And Elliot Broidy went down in that scandal. It was really sad what happened to him. He's a real American patriot. Honestly, Elliot Broidy is one of the greatest American patriots. So, finally came in. Let's do a little audio test. How you doing, my friend? Will Chamberlain
Doing good.
in the house.
Doing good.
Let's get some audio levels on this guy. Fed Sock Chair Captain.
What? I'm not. I mean,
I just made that
been
up. I know you're a FedSoc guy.
I've done FedSoc events, but that doesn't mean I'm actually a member or anything.
I thought you were a FedSoc member. I'm sorry.
No, I probably should be, but
FedSoc is an
nothing
amazing society. I
against
just
it.
wanted to say I've always thought you were a FedSoc guy, and I was like, because I know you've spoken at FedSoc events and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
You should join FedSoc. They're amazing. I actually dated this one girl once who was like deep in FedSoc, and she took me to the Supreme Court with her.
Oh, that's cool.
It was such a good date, man. Alito was there. It was so cool, man. And I'm kind of a law snob, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I've made 2 laws, Will. I don't know.
Oh, good.
Yeah. 2. One I was a part of. The other one was an activist friend of mine and we challenged a ruling on gun law, cannabis use, and the right for CCW in the state of California, and we won.
Oh, good.
It was such a
good.
big, and that's now being debated at the Supreme Court. You saw that last lawsuit, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's right. I guess. I mean, well, there's a series of laws that, or CCW laws, especially, that keep going up. So
right,
I'm not surprised. But
as
we're going to win on
marijuana
all of them, I
becomes
think.
legalized. What's your take on marijuana? Are you like pro weed or against weed?
I mean, I'm against weed. I think it's not good for you.
Do you think it should be illegal and people should go to jail for it?
I mean, how do I say this? I think it should be illegal, and I think it should be on the table. I don't think it should be like an enforcement priority, right? It's one of those things where it's like you want the social sanction and the stigma of having it be illegal, because legalized, it seems to proliferate, and there are pot shots everywhere, and people smoking in public, and everything reeks. So I think.
So you want it regulated or completely eliminated from society?
I just want it back to, I mean, go back to 15 years ago, where like just because it was illegal, that people still smoked it, but they didn't do it in public, and everything didn't smell like weed all the time. Like,
I'll tell you the truth is, for the business side and for the recreational side and for the regulatory side, like your side.
Yeah.
When it was Proposition 215 in California, before it became recreationally legal, it was much more profitable for businesses, and it was much more available in variety, and there was much more innovation at the marketplace. And when they made it regulated the way that they did, they pretty much destroyed they used legalization as a tool, kind of like occupational hazard. They used it as a tool for more prohibition, as like kind of like a twist, like remove the criminality from it and go like harder than Tylenol on regulation.
Interesting. Well, I just like, however, whatever the solution is, that doesn't mean there are pot shops everywhere. Like, I actually don't think, like, I'm a parent, right? I look around, I like when I get infuriated if I'm out walking in public and smell weed. I don't want to. My kids shouldn't have to smell it. And like, I don't like seeing pot shops everywhere. I think that's terrible too. This is one of those things where it's like the world where it's illegal, and I also think medical marijuana is bogus. Sorry, basically.
Oh, really?
Bogus. Yeah,
that's crazy. There's so much medical research on it. I wasn't anticipating to start this with such a rigorous debate on cannabis. I'm willing to have it.
Basically, like, I know how it worked in California. You could just walk in, like, they had doctors' shops right next to pot shops, and you could just walk in, get a random prescription. It was just sort of a joke. Like, you know, you get real doctors who actually say it, and there's like no shops, and there's no, I mean, basically the entire sort of, pot should be hard to get, should be really annoying to get, should be a pain in the ass. If people want to be potheads, like, I don't think the government should be hunting them down, like, to like go into their living rooms, take their pot from them. But I just think it's one of those things that, like, it would be better if it were illegal, socially shamed more aggressively. Like, I don't think things have improved. I have I think Cernovich and I have pretty much the same view on this, which is like, I used to be more libertarian on this question, and then I saw the results of what I feel like the libertarian policies were getting adopted. I'm like, oh, this sucks. No, I don't like this at all.
I think as far as like the regulation, when they legalized it, they did something very fascinating. They divided it into like 7 different license classes. So every license class is like kind of like a part of the manufacture process from seed to sale. So they created this system called metric, which is like how they keep track of how it goes through every part of the process. But as they keep track of it, they also tax it. So to stimulate your libertarian instinct on this one, and it could be applied to many different industries but I don't think any industry is as regulated as cannabis. But at the cultivators level, they produce it and they have to get it to a transport. A transport takes it to a manufacturer. A manufacturer takes it to a distributor. A distributor takes it to a laboratory. A laboratory takes it back to the distributor, and then it's finally allowed to be sold to the retail. And then from the retail, it goes to the customer. And then from the customer, it gets also a 9% tax. But at every single level, the government's taking anywhere from 30 to 50%.
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, the potheads would have it cheaper but harder to get. I don't know. I want it off the damn streets. I don't, people smoking in public, that should be like a very serious public disorder offense. I'm like, I remember being in front of Grand Central Station. It's just like a common experience now. You walk in front of Grand Central, you smoke pot, you smell pot, like in front of our major monuments. I hate that. Hate it. It's public disorder offense. Just like thread the absolute book at these people. Like smoke it in your house. And if the only way to get people to smoke it in their house is to make it illegal, then fine, right? Like there were plenty of people smoking weed while it was illegal, and like that's fine. I didn't really care
They
about
just
that.
did
And then,
so on punishment of prison. There was like 400,000 prisoners in the U.S. federal
yeah,
penitentiary
but most of those
system.
people, I mean, that you were pleading down to that. Very few people were actually getting arrested and charged.
I
with
remember
pot
there was
possession.
this case of Alexander Webster. He was a 19-year-old. He graduated high school, got a full ride to like the University of Alabama, something like that, on football. And
Yeah.
he had the federal government had one of these Fed plant situations. You could look up the case, Alexander Webster. It's very, very famous.
Yeah.
And he was his girlfriend's boyfriend posed as a dealer, sold him weed on 3 different occasions, and he got 26 years in prison as a 19-year-old.
Well, that's crazy, obviously, but it's unnecessary to have anything that draconian just to have it be, if you have it illegal.
The perspective that you take kind of allows for the environment for that draconian policy to take place. Like you don't seem to be the type.
I mean,
you don't seem to be the type that would be like passive
cocaine,
in that one. You know what I'm saying?
Like, do you think cocaine should be illegal?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different type of substance.
So cocaine should be illegal, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, cocaine is a very different type
there
of
could
substance.
be some terrible hard case where somebody buys cocaine 3 times or something, and it's just a possession thing.
Well, I also don't think that. I also don't think that drug use really should be treated as a crime. I think there's more like addiction should never be treated as a crime. Addiction should be treated as a mental illness. And
right, I am sympathetic to that view in the sense of I think that it needs to, but in order to actually deal with that, like you basically need to take people who are using drugs and basically give them a mandatory choice of either treatment or prison.
I'll give you a classic example. Example. In California, there was this event in 2018 that was called the Canageddon. What they did was the regulatory agencies, they made this environment, right, where companies had to self-report on video the destruction of their entire inventory that existed before anything that was on the metric system that I explained to you earlier. This is called the Canageddon. It was something like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of inventory was burned up on camera, and the videotapes had to be submitted to the Bureau of Cannabis Control. It was a crazy event, 2018. So in that process, there was, it just was like so, none of these companies could survive it. And all of a sudden at once in 2018, like you had like massive layoffs in the cannabis industry, and the city of Los Angeles lost 20,000 jobs. And these weren't jobs that like people could go work at Starbucks. Some of them have tattoos on their faces and stuff like that. Real people you don't want on the streets. But when they have cannabis, they kind of have like something or somewhere to go that isn't related to crime. And I always suggested in California, with the riots that happened in 2020 and everything that ensued after, that if you didn't have those 20,000 people unemployed, there wouldn't have been so much looting that took place. If they were employed, they were like making minimum wage, smoking weed on the couch, selling it to their friends. And I thought that's very benign for the trade-off, which is a much more violent society of people not knowing where they're going to get that meal, and they might turn to something like organized crime or something like that. So
yeah, I mean that's a reasonably decent argument for it.
Thank you.
I am still like just not. I don't think that trade-off of like.
You don't have to be sympathetic to them to be sympathetic to yourself. Like you don't want crime in your streets. There's a direct correlation to the closing of business and the increase of crime. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, then we should just jail the criminals. Right. I have a strong view. Like if that's what they're going to do, then we put them in jail. Right. Like I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, you conform your conduct to the law.
Okay. But what happens when the jails are overflowing?
Then we build more. That's the best use of taxpayer dollars there.
What do you think about like people like Lex Wexner and others who use jails as a system of employment? Like for Victoria's Secret, for example. Victoria's Secret is notoriously made in the U.S. prison system.
Okay,
Like,
I mean,
is it okay to use prisoners for commercial labor
yes,
at deeply deflated prices?
yeah, they should have to pay for. I mean, if they're getting a massive deal on that, they should have to compensate the fisc for it.
So I
Right.
mean, like we're talking about they make like 25 cents an hour, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't
You know
care.
what I'm saying?
They're in jail.
Okay. So
You're
do you
in
think
jail,
that
you're
that's
deprived
like
of your
harsh
liberties.
conditions? Is that like ultra harsh? That's like slavery, right?
I think that they should have civilized conditions. I'm for improving the conditions in jail, while also increasing the number of people in jail.
So let me ask you a question. Is that a commensurate experience to somebody who is going to stay on the outskirts of society and just smoke their weed and just do their own thing without even having to argue for medical cannabis? Because the truth is medical cannabis is actually proven. I would highly encourage you to check out the endocannabinoid system, which was actually discovered in Israel. It's an entire system in the body, like an organ, like
Sure. I mean,
like
my
the
point is that
reproductive
this is
system.
I don't. I mean,
And our bodies need
admit that,
cannabinoids.
in some cancer cases, it might be used
Well, there's a lot of
I just think
cases,
in general,
arthritis,
I know
cancer.
how I lived in California. I know how it worked. It was a scam. People would, in Venice Beach, they had just an entire.
Well, they used
row
it
of,
as a
marijuana
protest to
shops.
smoke freely. People used it as a protest to smoke freely, and they piggybacked off of a real right of people to medicine. I think that's really it falls under the right to try, even when it comes to, what Trump did with right to try. And, before any of it, it's before any federal legalization or deschedulization, this descheduling from Trump was a big joke, actually.
Interesting.
How he scheduled it as a legal buff. You'll be able to see this in a new light. The descheduling to a Schedule 3 was basically a handoff to Big Pharma, because Schedule 3 is some of the most regulated environment. That is the regulations of Tylenol. And Tylenol is the regulations on Tylenol are insane. Talk about hundreds of millions of dollars a year in fees. You know what I'm saying? That's where they are trying to put cannabis right now. That's when Trump did that descheduling from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, everybody applauded it oh, he's being lenient on people. No, he's giving the entire industry to Big Pharma. That's what that meant.
I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, again, I don't approve of that because I think it should basically remain illegal.
You think it should be? You think it should be done by the Justice Department? That cannabis should be a Justice Department issue and not a health issue, like Secretary of Health.
As
DHS.
I think basically cannabis should be unlawful. I just think I should.
Okay.
This is how it was for the most of the last 100 years. Is cannabis was unlawful. I don't think that.
Well, it became unlawful in 1937.
What?
It only became unlawful in 1937, and it started with a tax. Cannabis prohibition really started later than 1937, but the first law on cannabis was a 1937 tax act, where they pretty much associated it to hating Mexicans. The whole thing was it's a Mexican thing called marijuana.
I don't care. It stinks. You're not going to persuade me.
I'm just saying you have some valid claims, Will.
There are externalities to widespread.
You have some valid claims. I don't like smelling cigarette smoke in public. We banned that in California too. And you're not allowed to smoke in California. If you get caught smoking in public, any type of thing in California, you get a ticket for it. But a ticketed offense is probably more humanitarian and lenient than a criminal offense, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
it should be a misdemeanor, not a felony, right?
No. I think smoking in public should be just a throw the book at you offense. Smoking in private can be a ticketable offense.
Okay, what do you think? Felony or misdemeanor? Smoking weed in public, felony or misdemeanor?
Smoking weed in public, I'd say serious misdemeanor, first offense, felony, second offense.
Okay, I'm grateful. Thank you. Let's leave it at that. This was a good debate. Right. This was a good debate. I'm happy that you agreed to you said serious misdemeanor, and as long as it's a misdemeanor,
right. Jail time available, for the judge if they want to, right?
What'd you say? What'd you say?
For other things, you can get jail time for it.
I think that's probably the most moderate
offense of any kind, no jail. You can get some probation.
I think that
Don't
that's
smoke weed
probably
in
the
LA.
most moderate opinion of any anti-cannabis extremist. I appreciate you, Will Chamberlain, for being the moderate in the
I didn't
room.
used to
You
be this way,
know,
but I just changed my mind on it. I'm like, no,
I didn't
I don't like this at
anticipate
all.
going there. I was just sharing with you the law that I
And
made.
I've smoked weed. Don't get me wrong. Like I lived in Eugene and I had a roommate who smoked weed all the time.
Throw the
Like,
book at him, Napolitano. I
Right.
wanted to ask you about
doesn't matter. I
Napolitano.
like
Did you
still
see
think
the?
it should be illegal.
I wanted. Speaking of like throwing the book at him, like Judge Napolitano was recently on the Jorge Escalante, this Alex Jones. Used to watch, Alex Jones, the whole network, the whole Russian information, disinformation, Alexander Dugin network called InfoWars that kind of seemingly is associated with every single thing that goes on in the alt-right that I was once a part of for a long time. But that InfoWars, you see it like I don't know. There's this character, Scalante. I'm gonna play the clip for you because it was I couldn't believe that I saw this. Judge Napolitano is like, I'm hoping there's more to the clip, but I want to let's put it on, and you'll see what I'm saying.
By the way, Netanyahu, Gallant, Smotrich, Bendiv, all you little arrogant boys, plus from Ben Gurion to Golda Meir, none of you are Semites. You're Ashkenazi Jews from Eastern Europe, northeast of Turkey. You're Khazars. The Semites are Palestinians from the Mesopotamia region. Is that correct, Judge?
Yes, it is historically and etymologically correct. They don't care. They'll tarnish anybody with anything. Look, you put your finger on it with two observations you've been making for years. One is he who pays the piper calls the tune.
By the way,
when I heard that, I don't know, Will, is that shocking to you or what?
I mean, it's the same like low IQ anti-Semitism. I feel,
but
like
it's
that's
Judge Napolitano.
I mean, I don't, I think this has just infected most of libertarian spaces, in my judgment, especially over the past few years. Like all these people seem to have. I mean, I remember when libertarianism was about a little more than just a random third world anti-Zionism. Like Clint Russell's a good example of this. He's out there tweeting about like how great not how great the ICC is, but how terrible it is that the Trump administration is trying to dismantle the ICC, because it's like, I'm sorry, like like libertarians for global international criminal
exactly.
prosecution.
That's
What
hilarious.
is this?
That's hilarious.
What are you guys even for at this point?
No, it is crazy. It is an infiltration of the libertarian movement and agenda, the betrayal of John Galt and all of his principles. I actually just finished The Fountainhead, and I have forever moved. Probably the greatest piece of literature I've ever read. But it is very crazy how libertarianism. Did you see the picture with Thomas Massey and everybody at Tucker Carlson's hangout?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
This is sort of like, it reminds me of like, they're going to set up, thankfully our system is really so very unfavorable to third parties, because that's the kind of thing that looks like to me, right? It's an attempt to set up like a splinter right-wing group, kind of like what Restore Britain is doing in the United Kingdom, where they're just trying to peel off of reform. They're not going to get anywhere. I'm sorry. This is a very online movement. The Republican Party supports President Donald Trump. They have for a long time. I learned this when I worked for DeSantis, right? Like we got our ass kicked, and I learned my lesson. Like you're not
good for you.
Like Donald Trump runs the Republican Party. Get over it. Like it's okay.
It's true.
And the idea that you're like, I think it was Brian Glenn, who's Marjorie Taylor Greene's new husband, and he said something like, President Trump would not have won in 2024 without Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no. I mean, maybe
of course he
you
would
could make
won.
an argument for Tucker, at least in the sense that for about 5 years there, Tucker was a very, very important figure on the right, and so helped bring the party more in the direction of Trumpism and populism as a result of that body of work that he did. That's maybe, but I'm sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's just a congresswoman. No, she was not the reason Donald Trump won. And moreover, Tucker's recent turn, the idea that this like move that Tucker's made is somehow in line with Trumpism and it's Trump who betrayed Tucker. Oh, nonsense, right? Tucker, if anything, has just gone completely off the deep end.
The president can never betray his person. You have to follow your president. This is the president of the United States. You know, this is
yeah. Like, what do you mean Trump betrayed you? I mean, this is the thing.
He's the head of the party.
I see so much stupidity about this. Like, this whole thing on Iran, like Trump betrayed us. He said no foreign wars. Like Trump said over and over and over and over again that he wasn't going to let Iran get a nuclear weapon. He promised no regime change wars. He promised no World War III. But like he said over and over and over again, I'm not going to let Iran get a nuke. And when Iran in their negotiations was like, yeah, we're not giving up our nuclear program, period, end stop. It's like, what is Trump supposed to do at that point?
Right, exactly. They want him to kowtow. You know, the most offensive thing I ever saw Tucker do was when he went to Qatar and he said he's definitely not in the slave country of Qatar drinking his alcohol. I couldn't believe that. To me, that was just the most audacious thing I've ever seen in my life. Because it is a slave state and people can't get alcohol there. You know, and he's sitting there toasting for his new home in Qatar. And the public is just like, Tucker he's not on Israel pays $7,000 a tweet. And I'm sitting there looking at him take his house. And he's like, there's no slaves here. I'm not in the slave state of Qatar.
Dude, you know that 7,000 thing? That came, I found this out. That came from the Quincy Institute, right? It came from a Responsible Statecraft article, which is the in-house publication of Quincy. Quincy is funded by Soros. So anytime somebody says $7,000, that's Soros-funded slop.
Interesting.
Right? And which is also, by the way, if you're trying to figure out like what is the communication strategy with any of this stuff, it's like if it comes out of Quincy, it's Soros funded. Soros is the boogeyman of the right for decades. And if you're taking Soros money, you're not on the team.
Right.
So like this is all Soros funded. I think I called it Soros funded goy slop because I thought that was funny.
Yeah, absolutely. That is funny. It is funny. He's a stupid goy. He's not even a worthy Shabbos goy. You know what I'm saying? And he's supposedly a Jew. You know, I don't get that one. No, I like the clown. I like the troll. I like the whole goy slop troll. And, it's like, as a Jew, I'm like, oh, that's kind of an interesting addition to the culture that the right kind of adopted.
Well, if goy slop means anything, right, it means propaganda designed to appeal to non-Jews that Jews wouldn't fall for, right? Like
totally.
That would be my definition.
Below 80 IQ material.
Right. And so, but there's nothing about that would mean that it has to be Jews promulgating the goy slop, right?
Exactly.
It literally could be,
yeah.
If it's the Arabs trying to persuade Gentiles to oppose Jews, then that they could easily be feeding the same similar.
Exactly.
That could still be goy slop.
Exactly. Arabs, right. Muslims can give goy slop to Christians, the whole thing, the whole, there's goy slop everywhere. If you really look at the system deep enough, you find that most of the things that people believe in is goy slop.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But it is true.
That's what I mean, all this stuff, man, it's just so the Israeli the merger of the militaries that came out of Quincy. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Slop.
Even Fuentes is getting up like you people are morons.
Exactly. Exactly.
Militaries are not merging. It's an R&D agreement, you idiots.
It's so crazy.
Of course we're going to do R&D agreements with Israel. I mean, he doesn't want us to, but like, of course we are going to do R&D agreements with Israel. They're like a bleeding edge drone missile defense power.
Yeah.
That we obviously want to be doing tech sharing with for our own direct national interest.
Yeah. And in the region, they're also the only country that celebrates the 4th of July. So I think that's kind of like a good indication where we should put our efforts.
It really is remarkable how much they like us. They really like us. Like you walk the streets of Jerusalem, you can get yarmulkes with Donald Trump and MAGA written all over them.
It's so true. It's so true. But you could get those in any Jewish Orthodox bookstore in all of America too. I mean, that is like a top seller across the board in Orthodoxy.
Like everybody loves us in Israel, right? The right wingers love us. The left wingers.
It's true.
There's been a little less of that.
He has like 99% approval amongst all of Israel. The only thing that all Israelis have chosen to agree on is that they love Donald Trump.
Right. They're like, he's great. We love him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're a little annoyed lately, but I think I think there was like a dip with the MOU, but I think that's sort of once it became clear that the MOU really was an MOU in the sense
Mhm.
of like not being like a finalized agreement that Trump
Mhm.
was taking the literal terms of too seriously.
Yeah.
I think people were fine.
I read all the Trump books, and on
Mhm.
every book, especially The Art of the Comeback, you learn something. Trump always lands on his feet, and don't ever put it past him to not land on his feet.
Right.
Chances are he's going to land on his feet. So the way I saw the MOU, he got to expose Vance in the Marco Rubio Vance situation and the whole Tucker Russia disinformation thing. He got peace for his birthday and for the 4th of July 250 with his giant UFC fight and the old school World
Mhm.
Fair on the lawn, like like as if it's like the
Mhm.
the World's Fair of 1906. You know what I'm saying? He got his like little thing
Yeah.
for him and like a few congressmen. Barely anybody went. It was like a private park for him and his boys. It was like it was amazing. And then the war started again, and now Iran has lost everything. And it's
Yeah. No, I think that's a sort of deep, interesting thing about what's happening, which is I think really it's almost like to understand what's going on, you need to just imagine Trump's true social just didn't exist, and you're just
Mhm,
looking at the war without the sort of Trump radio feed. You're just looking at
mhm.
like what's happening, and what's happening is terrible for Iran. It's just terrible for them.
Yeah,
Like they're economically suffocated.
yeah.
They have, I mean, Bandar Abbas is now like a complete wreck, which is their primary port city, the
Mhm,
place where they were doing all sorts of stuff to threaten the straits. Like they're sort of, dealing with their just like lingering capability of their
mhm,
remaining missiles and drones. It's not that much. They can like harass shipping once in a while. And
mhm,
meanwhile, they're completely blockaded. They can't do anything about the blockade. The most they can do is like threaten their neighbors. And this is compared to what 2 years ago when they had like this entire proxy set up between Hezbollah, Hamas, whatever. They still had an ally in charge of Syria. They don't anymore. They were much wealthier. They had an intact defense industrial base. They had like an intact military. They had all their senior leadership. Like they're so much worse off than they were prior to in the last like 13 months than they were
mhm.
before that.
Devastatedly.
And devastatedly, and yet like people still are sort of like,
Mhm.
well, they've had a strategic or they're strategically winning. I'm like, well, really? Like what is if this is winning, what's losing look like? Just full formal
Exactly.
capitulation?
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
and I think
actually,
part
yes. Losing does look like formal capitulation
yeah,
and
that's
abdication of power to a new government.
and I just don't think that's in the cards as long as we're not willing to do a full scale invasion, which we aren't. So it's like, okay, given that we've never been willing to do a full scale invasion, like that's just Trump has never even suggested that's a possibility beyond like a Marine expeditionary unit taking out like Karg or something like that.
There's a
Uh,
very complex reason why
mhm.
there is not a civilian revolution movement that is being backed by the West. Because there are civilian revolution movements that people are getting mowed down. We had an agent on our show
Yeah,
here, an Iranian in Iran who was feeding us information, and he disappeared. And I pray to God that he just is hiding or something, but he was taking pictures. If you go back on my timeline, like when
mhm.
they were making the claim of the 40,000, you'll see pictures that we posted from him. I felt an obligation to share his story. And he had what he believed was the last Starlink in Tehran before the complete blackout. And then he was gone. And I haven't heard from him
Yeah.
since. I
I
send him
mean
letters all the time. I never get through on any of our channels.
the regime is incredibly ruthless, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
this is actually a key distinction between the Shah and the Islamic Republic, right? And it's actually similar among revolutionary regimes. So the Shah had a similar problem, right? He had uprisings, he had protests, and he just wasn't willing to kill his own people en masse. He just wasn't. Like that's sort of a meme in our world is like, oh, the Shah was so oppressive, and therefore, that's why he was overthrown. It's like, no, actually, if the Shah were really as oppressive as you think he was, the Islamic Republic would have been destroyed. There would have been no Islamic Republic. He would have just stayed in power. But he
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't willing to kill his own people, like
Right.
not en masse. And so the Islamic Republic overthrew him. And they have like an ideology that basically says, like, literally everything in Islam, the highest important thing to preserve our view of Islam is to preserve the wilayat faqih, I don't even think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's how I see it. But basically, the guardianship of the clerics, It's more important than any particular stricture in Islam, which means our government can do things that violate Islam if it's to preserve the government itself. And so it's basically like a reinvented kind of divine right. And so they're like, okay, yeah, we govern from divine right. So if you are opposing us, you are not just like an opposition, you're blaspheming, basically. And like, you're an apostate. So I think that belief just is infused in the Islamic Republic among its apparatchiks to the point. So like, yeah, they're like, of course we killed 40,000 people. We don't care. They were protesting. We don't care. They're not allowed. That's blasphemy. You don't get to oppose our government. And because they have that view, like this sort of hope of like the domestic kind of rebellion rising up, like they're just, that only works if the government doesn't have confidence in itself. Like, well, if the government has confidence in itself, they have the guns, and their military has the guns. They just have to shoot. And so that's what they're doing. And I think that's, the vague hope of like, oh, they'll rise up. Like, unless the only way to solve that problem is to do kind of like what Syria did, or rather what Ashar did, which is they need to carve out a piece of territory that they're effectively sovereign over and can build from, and then can eventually launch a real attack as like, the real government. But without that, like if it's just people in Tehran or people in whatever city trying to like rise up and protest in the streets, like that doesn't result in a transfer of sovereignty unless the existing government lets it.
Right. That's actually very true. And but there hasn't been that. I think that President Trump was really hoping that the Kurds were going to be that, and they kind of took the weaponry, which I don't blame them for.
Yeah, we've betrayed the Kurds plenty.
Like the $86 billion that we just left to their enemies, like in weapons under Joe Biden. It was kind of like we owed it to them almost. Like, let's be real. But I do hope. I'm actually very close friends with a lot of very powerful Kurdish people, including many Barzani family members. And I was very close. In the beginning of the show, I was talking about something I did that Ken Vogel got really hot on me for, that got me caught up in the Mueller investigation for like a month during that time period. And it was my involvement in Kurdistan with the whole Elliot Broidy fiasco. I was really involved with like this private company that Elliot had called Circinus. But anyways, I wasn't really involved. I had a couple accounts, and Kurdistan was one of them. But
interesting.
And so like but yeah, so I got really into Kurdistan, and I don't blame them at all. And I definitely know that independence is on their table. I was actually in the Kurdish embassy in Washington on the night of their vote of the referendum for independence. It was
cool.
It was such an amazing experience.
Cool.
It was so
Very
cool. It was such an amazing night to be there on that night. Truly a life experience to be there with them, as the guest of the ambassador, Bayan Abdul Rahman. She's no longer the ambassador, but there's still a large power structure. And that was before the Talibanis. There used to be. Do you know anything about Kurdistan?
I mean, I know it's in north.
There's
kind of
two main political
sort of. It crosses into eastern Turkey, and it's in northern Iraq, and then it's also, I think, touches onto Iran. Like if you're talking about like Kurdistan and sort of some, and then in Syria, northeastern Syria.
Yeah,
like
it covers
kind of
4 nations. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of conquered territory. It covers 4 nations. It's governed by mainly 2 political parties, the KDP and the PUK at the time. And so the PUK, there's the region of Iraq that produces all of the oil is called Kirkuk. And the worst thing that we did as Americans was when we pulled out after the referendum, the Iranians took Kirkuk. And it's still like this vestibule. If we want to cut the Iranians off, we need to have Kirkuk be sovereign again by the Kurds. And I think that would give us such a strategic advantage militarily with the Kurds to actually get them to do something, as if they had the actual assets of the oil revenue of Kirkuk. And maybe it'll even soften some stuff up in the Strait of Hormuz,
Yeah, well, obviously the Turks, like the question is how will the Turks tolerate that, and then also, but I'm kind of tired of Turkey, frankly. I think they've been obnoxious in a lot of different ways.
Who has?
Erdogan and Turkey.
The Turks.
Yeah, so if they want to keep being obnoxious to our allies, and this is the kind of thing where it's like they know they want to be allies with us, but we're allies with Israel, and they want to just constantly insult Israel in the most like gruesome ways and do nothing about it. It's like, okay, like if this is how you're going to behave, then I mean, we can just go ahead and yank all your military funding and have we can get the Kurds going. How about that? Like,
Yeah.
You guys need to start behaving. And I
And
think that's
like I've watched
Turkey's so
Recep,
powerful, relatively speaking, that I think it'll be negotiated. So this is the problem. The Kurds, they just don't have their own state, and because they don't, and there are other powerful countries that really don't want them to have a state that are in our orbit. That's the real challenge.
I've watched Recep my whole life, and I can't believe that we even negotiate with autocratic regimes. I have a friend over, and she's from England, and she was telling me about, and I was talking about Meghan Markle, how Meghan Markle's probably the greatest American patriot of all time, because
okay,
because who cares that she's of the left? It's like so American to like take a British prince and to make him just an average regular guy. It's like to bring him into America, and she did that. And the photograph of the Queen of England with the the black family, that was like just for everything that she put her sister through, that she couldn't marry a white British commoner because she was a princess, that it was just kind of like so apropos. It's like kiss the American ring moment. And it's almost like the subliminal showing of our authority over England. And it came through Meghan Markle. And now they parade on Netflix. I love him. Harry, he's not Prince Harry anymore. He's just Harry, my boy, who we drink beers with down at the pub, He's like liberal. He's so liberal, I can barely tolerate it, but he's my American brother, down with the crown.
All right, I'm getting pinged by my wife. I need to go pick up our daughter. So I gotta wrap this up.
Well, I appreciate the conversation, and I'll close on this. I'll say that, one of the greatest things, Will, that I think President Trump has done is he created the Republican Party into a tremendously large tent. And that's how we win. And as you could see, as we started this conversation, we clearly disagree on certain parts, but we are unified in mission for America and the American future. And I think that's the greatest thing about President Trump, is he allows us all to be a part of the same Republican Party where we can effectualize power. So
I agree totally. Like, I don't think disagreeing with me on weed should not be a reason that you're not a Republican, right? The Republicans are the pro-civilization party where we all got to defeat the barbarians at the gates. That's way more important than like the particulars of any specific drug policy.
Amen, brother. And I'll see you back on the gates of Twitter, destroying our enemies as I do every single day. You're one of my favorite accounts on Twitter, Will Chamberlain, everybody. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
It means a lot.
Take care, brother. Bye.
Bye.
And there you go, folks. The man, the legend. I did that one for Cerno because Cerno really likes him. And I actually met Mike Cernovich, and I got invited to one of his parties. It was an awesome party. Really great party. Peter B took me because Peter B is really into Cerno. And we had a great conversation till 2 a.m, Mike and I. And we shut the club down, all of us. It was like a group of us. We sat around a table. Really a magical evening. And he spoke about Will Chamberlain a lot. And I was like, and I know Will because I follow Will and he follows me. And I always see him all over the place. But I don't really know Will. I don't really know like what. And obviously I didn't know him enough to not ask him a marijuana question in the beginning of the show. But yeah, I think that's just what I closed on is a very key feature of the movement. It's a big tent. And as a big tent, we win. And we effectualize change. And the people on our side, or whatever, we thought they were on our side, this idea that there is no enemies to the right type of a thing, that these people, although they appear to be on the right, they really intend to divide the power that is MAGA. MAGA was gigantic at one time. And the killing of Charlie Kirk greatly advanced this agenda. So when Candace accused me of killing Charlie 4 times, which I don't take lightly, I talk about it on almost every show because I want the whole world to know how crazy these people are. I'm not going to ever forget it. Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Candace, for pretty much making me famous. Jeez, talk about it. She didn't even know who I was at first. Such a crazy woman. just obsessed with Awesome Jew. This account, I'll never forget Pierce Morgan. Oh, one of the greatest moments I've ever seen on the internet. Like I said, Awesome Jew is the greatest troll of all time. I hope you truly troll out with us forever. But yeah, we had this whole long conversation, and that's really the power of President Trump. And the breaking up of that is the breaking up of the movement of MAGA, the big tent, the thing that can win America, the big tent of the right. Because the big tent of the left, they're all goose-stepping the Fuhrer, ready to go straight up to Washington, D.C. and follow any command and do anything that their leader says. Take a knee on on the floor of the Capitol wearing Kunta Kinte cloth and say, Black Lives Matter. And they all do it in unison. Crazy shit, dude. Kunta Kinte cloth, like, motherfucker, for real? For real? Like, that was so crazy. But they do that in unison. They show that goose-stepping power, that the Democrats have. Republicans were always like fighting each other. So MAGA has been this big tent. I'm going to work on my words. I'm not going to say was a big tent. It was a big tent. Used to involve Alex Jones and me, and now not. And now it's like this whole other thing, And so if we're going to win elections, if we're going to take control of the House and Senate, or keep control, really, to be able to influence any sort of deregulatory agenda, to be able to influence any sort of, mandate whatsoever anywhere, we have to win in the midterm elections. We have to remind people what the big tent is about. That's Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the big tent of America. And that's why they wanted to kill him. They know that he was the one who unified all those people. He kept Tucker together with the Zionists. Everything has spiraled out of control since the killing of Charlie Kirk. And the truth of the matter is that I wanted to go back to the way it was. I liked it better, the party of Charlie Kirk. Everybody had a voice. Nick Fuentes would have probably got his debate with Charlie Kirk eventually. He probably would have gotten his debate with Charlie Kirk. And now that he's seeing the anti-Semites for who they actually are, Dan Kazarian and all these guys, now that he's seeing them for who they really are, he'll probably get his debate with Ben Shapiro too. And I know he wants that. He's been begging for that. That's been like the thing since he was a childhood boy. Okay, he's calmed down. He sees that he's not like the others. He's not like Stu Peters and Candace Owens and Russell Brand and all these losers. He understands that this isn't his part of the empire. He likes Alex. He disagrees with Alex. I don't understand Alex Jones anymore, guys. It's just like when he said that Israel was sending the Muslims into Spain, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? Who's paying you to say that? Do you need money that bad, bro? Is it really that bad for you right now? Have Rahmanis. Like, you can't really have become that person. I don't believe it. But maybe, I mean, you hang out with Tucker all the time, and that guy's taking the money too. That guy's taking the money left and right in front of everybody. Houses in Qatar. Nobody cares. They're like, hey, Qatar gave my favorite talk show host who hates the Jews a house on the beach. So Qatar ain't that bad. Goy slop. 80 IQ goy slop, folks. It is just such low-level mess. And people aren't down. They're just not down anymore. They're not down for this. The Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Thomas Massey, the whole debacle of them at Weekend at Tucker's, and Alex Jones. They're such amazing patriots right there. They all lost their elections, bro. They're so great they lost their elections. Voter fraud. Bro. Like, they were elected. Thomas Massey was a 14-year congressman. That's crazy to think. Oh, but he just attacked the system at that moment, and so the system dropped him. So much of his money came from out of the district, bro. It didn't even come from the district. He himself was supported by the same people that watch Russell Brand, by the same people who watch Tucker Carlson and Sneeko. That's who supports Thomas Massie. Sneeko supports Thomas Massie. That crowd. All of those people. The woke Reich is where the money came from. That guy who wore his, he like disappeared from the world. Ryan Matta, after the end of Thomas Massie, he disappeared from the world. He literally wore a sweater. I can't believe we went through that. I can't believe we went through that, and people actually think that that side is going to win. They actually think that they come down from power and then they go up to a higher power. Like they lose Congress to win the presidency. That shit is so crazy. That woke shit is so crazy. And they're going to run Tucker. They're going to run Tucker against Rubio. They're going to run Tucker and Vance at the same time. And Vance and Tucker won't attack each other. And Tucker will be the attack dog of Rubio. To attack Rubio for Vance. So Vance doesn't look like such a bad guy attacking Rubio. That's why Tucker will run. And it's going to be a field test. It's going to be a field test to see how much of the Republican Party hates Jews. And they're going to get as much of the vote as Dan Bilzerian is going to get in Florida. Maybe less. And you guys want a monkey clutch with James Fishback. It's like, you guys are just... You're not even pearl clutching anymore. You're monkey clutching. You're holding on to that banana like the entire forest is going ablaze and it's the last banana you're ever going to get. Because it is. There's no more after Fishback. I just want this election to end for governor of Florida so that this whole thing can be put to rest. He's just a guy who has a platform because he's running against a fellow Republican. For the Republican... It's so crazy. He's everywhere. And that's why I like it when they put Fishback on the flyer with Tucker Carlson. Because all those people are going out. Tucker deserves to be on the flyer with Fishback. It's not that Fishback deserves to be on the flyer with Tucker. Tucker deserves to be on the flyer with Fishback. Because Fishback is going to lose so hard. And that's when they can all shut the fuck up. And Tucker's going to go down too. Tucker's going to go down, and all of them have already gone down. Where's Candace? Has anybody seen Candace Owens lately? Where's Granny Groiper? Where did Granny Groiper go, huh? Where's she at now? She's conveniently disappeared. Where is she? She comes out every now and then. J.D. Vance keeps them alive. Throws them a life vest. And it'll be Tucker versus JD. And Tucker will be up there and he'll be like, well, I think JD would make a great president. And JD will be like, thank you, Tucker, but there's real issues here, okay? And then Tucker will be like, Marco, you did this, and Marco, you did that, and Marco. And JD will be like, let's be civil, let's be civil. And they're going to try to run JD as like this guy who could keep the party together and keep Tucker Carlson together with Marco Rubio. But no, fuck you, Tucker Carlson. Let's fucking knock you out. Let's 86 you on the fucking stage. Time out. He's gone. It's no longer the theater set of Tucker Carlson. He's never going to appear again. And I love watching Tucker Carlson go after these D-list people on the internet and platform them. And they parade around like, I got invited to Tucker Carlson. Yeah, you're in the club with a bunch of other retards. Like 800, seriously, he has so many people that he has platformed who have just absolutely taken the most degenerate approaches, everything about Jews. I'm recalled the guy who came with the Kabbalah, the blonde guy with the Kabbalah who came and was telling everybody about the dangers of the Kabbalah. And he had like 3,000 followers on the internet, but he got this huge platform on Tucker. They all get this platform on Tucker. And this is the real criminality of the woke Reich, because they all go on each other's shows. They all platform each other to give this illusion that there's like this division inside of MAGA, but they are the division. They're the Democrats. They're on the hook. They literally are okay with their leaders taking money directly from Qatar, taking a house on camera from Qatar, saying, hey, everybody, look, I'm in the slave state of Qatar. Like I said with Will, I can't believe he even said that. I can't believe he even said that. Like, do these people not even see themselves? And he sat there with his college roommate in the picture, you know. It's just so crazy. They're so desensitized to the level of treason they bring to what they want to do. And they work for Democrats. And that's why 2028, the Republican primary, is really, it's the Democrat versus the Republican. Because the Democrats have ceded entry into the Republican Party through Tucker Carlson. It's the best strategy the Democrats have going for them, moving into the 2028 elections, is to divide MAGA as much as possible with these people, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, everybody that this show has taken down from the very, very beginning, from Stu Peters to Nick Fuentes. And I'm so proud of Nick Fuentes. I was the first person to ever really do any content with Nick Fuentes, mainstream, of a differentiating opinion. When he was so young, everyone, dude, do you know that guy, Nathaniel Kapner, got excommunicated from the Greek Orthodox Church? I mean, we fucked people up, man. We have been at every single juncture here at the Adam King Show to defeat anti-Semitism. We don't combat anti-Semitism. We convert anti-Semites and defeat anti-Semitism. There's no combating here. We have been through every single debate. I have done more debates than any of you people on the internet. I started the debate culture on the right. Fuentes and I in 2024, in January 2024, the debate to begin all debates. And now what we do on the right is we debate, because the left has vacated their debate stage when Joe Biden gave them permission by not showing up to the presidential debate. And that's where we are, guys. That is where we are. And so if we're going to win, if we're going to keep some sort of semblance, and that's why we need to defeat Iran now, because we have the power now. And we don't play games with power. When we have power, we use it. We don't wait for a more opportune time to use our power. We use our power now while we have it. And we don't second guess ourselves. And we don't second guess the leader that we elected and the leader of the party. You don't change a horse mid-race when he already said exactly what he was going to do. We knew he was going to do this. He said Iran would never get a nuclear missile. He said this. So why do we pearl clutch and monkey clutch now? Why are you monkey clutching? Owen Schroyer, Harrison Smith, Alex Jones. You guys are monkey clutching. I don't understand why you guys continue to do this. To say something as non-factual as that Kuwait was invaded by Israel because they wanted to flood the Europe with Muslims, 50,000 Muslims. It wasn't even Europe, you fucking idiots. Like, seriously, it wasn't even Europe. It was Africa. And the people on the internet, the Goyslop community who eats up this low IQ sub 80 nonsense that Tucker Carlson is constantly dishing out, that's who they're feeding. That's what this is about. That's the only people that they can muster. The HTs of the world. The Joker Waffen. They can only get the Joker Waffen. That's it. They can't get any real people. And that's why Nick's post the other day was so important. He's seeing what everybody is seeing, and he wants to jump off ship. He's young enough. I remember when him and Sneeko and Ahmed Suleiman did David Duke. Do you guys remember when I did David Duke one-on-one? Fuentes, Sneeko, and Ahmed Suleiman did David Duke at AFPAC 4. And you remember they had that camera? They were like, It was so funny. They were like, behind the scenes with David Duke. And Fuentes was sitting there like the boy wonder. He is so far from AFPAC 4. Speaking of AFPAC 4, I saw Carlin Borsenko on television today. She made it on Newsmax, and this girl lost so much weight. She must have lost like an entire human being's worth of weight. I'm like really proud of her. She looked amazing. But like it was literally like a human being. Look at the episode that we did together like years ago. That is some serious work. But that was AFPAC 4. And they were all sitting there when Sneeko got punched in the mouth and he lost his tooth by the black security guard. Shema Yisrael. Oh my God. It was the best television that ever existed, and it was only on Twitter. It was only on Twitter. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. And I was there for all of it. Every single thing. Every single thing I was at the very center of. From the beginning that I started disrupting this Duganist network. And I'm very proud of Nick Fuentes. He has shown real intellect. The guy has a thought process. He has an IQ greater than his peers. That's why he was elevated. He was the boy wonder that they always loved. I have this really close girlfriend who's like a super spy. And she has this friend that was really into Nick. And because like I was really close with her, I let this guy, I knew him. And he was just like a, regular guy, whatever. But he was like in love with Nick. He was like a 50-year-old man in love with Nick Fuentes. I'm telling you. And that was the entire vibe of the entire movement that they had, was all like obsession with Nick Fuentes. And now he doesn't want anything to do with it. Why? Because you people look like fucking idiots. Tucker Carlson, when you had Nick Fuentes on your show, all you did was, I remember they're like, you're a Fed. No, I thought you were a Fed. No, I thought you were a Fed. It is so fake. Who was the Fed that put that thing on? Because it's so obvious that some sort of Fed activity took place if you guys can't get along afterwards. Like, what took place, guys? Like, what's the real story? And Fuentes is going to out on you. We should pray that they don't knock off Fuentes. We should pray that Fuentes survives, because he's got a story to tell. He does not like this Fourth Reich. He does not like it. He thinks it's stupid. It's Dan Kazarian stupid. But that's where we're at, dude. And if we're going to win in 26, dude, the elections are so close. And as you saw in Los Angeles, they already got the fix. Spencer Pratt just showed it to everybody. They already got the fix in. So they're going to double down on districts. They already did redistricting again. My district got redistricted into another Democrat district. I had Mike Garcia. We had a Republican congressman before this. So what do they do in California? Just like they did with Karen Bass when I ran for Congress in 2014. They redistricted us in 2013, and now they did it again here at my beautiful home. Now I'm ruled by one of these Democrats, and I supported that Democrat. I had him on the show, the guy Dory Ben-Ami. And it's just like the system wins every time. There is no election anymore. This isn't a democratic. This isn't a republic. This isn't a free and fair country. Our government has been taken. We don't control it. We could control it in certain parts and hope to God that all those parts have enough legitimate votes that carry us in the 2026 election, but it's only a few seats. They are so honed in on these seats so that they can lame duck President Trump. And that's what they want to do. They want to lame duck President Trump. We're not going to let them happen. That's the party, the great party of Donald Trump. When people like Will Chamberlain and myself can get together to expand on mutual interests, even though we disagree on certain fundamental things. So I hope Cerno is happy with this episode, and I'm definitely going to follow up. And I think the biggest win was I got him to say that he wants it to be a misdemeanor and not a felony. I think that's an important distinction. We have to play on that. We have to understand, yes, we're in the big tent. And yes, there's people who vehemently disagree with things that we believe in the big tent. And if we're going to continue to expand the Big Ten, we have to let people in. Do you remember Gays for Trump? He was the only president to ever do anything for the gays in the Republican Party. And I'm not even advocating for it. I'm not the ally. Just like Will Chamberlain's not the weed ally. I'm not the gay ally, but we had to make do. We had Dave Rubin and, Xavier, whatever his name was, and all these influencers that got up. They were gay activists, and they played their part. They wanted lesser taxes. They wanted no regulations. They wanted a more just society that was fair with less corruption. What's wrong with that? You're going to hate on somebody? And that's what they did, but they used the Jew as the scapegoat to divide the MAGA movement. And that's what they did on the right. And so that's what we got to recover from. And now is the only time that we can recover from that. Because as we move in to the 2026 elections, I showed you Napolitano. I can't believe Napolitano. Let's watch it again. I want you guys to swallow this moment.
Netanyahu.
This is Fox
Gallant,
News.
Smotrich.
IMDb has a list of every appearance.
Plus from Ben Gurion to Golda Meir. None of you are Semites.
And whose show was
You're
he on?
Ashkenazi Jews from
Tucker
Eastern
Carlson.
Europe, northeast of Turkey. You're Khazars. The Semites are Palestinians from the Mesopotamia region. Is that correct, Judge?
Okay, watch Napolitano.
It is historically
He
and
says yes.
etymologically correct.
Show
They don't
us
care.
well,
They'll
guys.
tarnish anybody with anything. Look, you put your finger on it with two observations you've been making for years. One is he who pays the piper calls the tune.
By the way,
That is like pinnacle. Khazar theory is pinnacle anti-Semitism. It is as fake as the protocols of the elders of Zion, which some of my good friends are in the book. I mean, like, what an honor. That's kind of like how I feel as your troll, anti-Semitic woke Reich. I feel like I'm in the book. Finally, I made it to the book, because you guys, protocols of the elders of Zion was like the Twitter of, the 19 whatevers. But that's what we're talking about here. Khazar theory is protocols of the elders of Zion level. That somehow the Jews who you still blame killed Jesus. What was it? Did we kill Jesus? Or are we like converts from the Khazars who aren't really Ashkenazi Jews and didn't really kill Jesus? You don't get it both ways. We're not like European cosplayers pretending to be ancient biblical Hebrews, and we also are the descendants of the slayers of your God, the God who can die. So make up your minds. But Judge Napolitano, this guy was on Tucker Carlson every time on Fox. Hannity, every single one of them. Laura Ingraham, every single person on the right. He has been the moral voice, the judge. He is the one who comes when they want to convince the public that something that the Republican Party wants is morally good for you to do. That's Judge Napolitano. And here he is on this low-level Scalante show, this low-level show, getting involved in Khazar theory. And we're this is the Republican Party. These are the leaders that they gave us to show you how fake it is. These were the people they put on television to tell us everything that we should believe in. This is the Matrix. This is the world that's false that surrounds you. Napolitano. When I saw that, I couldn't believe it. And I'm glad I got Will on the clip because the truth, Napolitano, guys, is such a big deal. It means that somewhere in the deepest part of the mainstream of the right, this infection has truly taken place. That he would risk his entire career. That he would, it's like there's so many things that you could like legitimately say about the Jews, right? Maybe we're too involved in money lending, or maybe some Jew charges too much interest, something, like something real that like, and that's why I respect the Fuentes, because he won't accept this goy slop anymore. And he's been completely like removed from their whole society, the way that Adam Green was by Lucas Gage. I remember when that took place, also revolving me. The only reason I came out was because of that. because of the David Lang thing and all the others that were getting goon squads that they are awesome Jew. No, I had to come out. I had to take the reins. I had to say this is getting out of control. He sent 80 subpoenas to X to unmask my account, guys. 80 subpoenas. How do you even do that? That shows institutional corruption. That's why I'm like hesitant to believe the Lucas Gage stuff. Just too much has gone on. Like, how do you do 80 subpoenas? That's crazy. Because X has to notify you. So they notify. It's so crazy. And then the responses that we sent back from the attorneys, nothing. When everybody with my account, Candace Owens, Lucas Gage, before I came out, and then who rushed to me right after I came out? Jake Shields, Dan Bilzerian, and those two. They were the only ones who were just, because they weren't in it in the beginning. But the rest of them were in it. Everything was awesome Jew. Everything was awesome Jew. I remember when Matt Baker found out that I was awesome Jew, he was so mad at me. He's like, how dare you? You posted with me on the front page of Stu Peters. I was like, bro, you were in... That was the Holocaust denial episode. What do you expect from me, bro? I'm a Jew. And I know that he got jumped on that episode. I know that he didn't even know that was coming and Stu Peters hoodwinked him. But this is the pros, dude. If you want to go down to the B leagues, you can expect favors from your friends, but not here. We still talk all the time. Give him a big shout out. I'm praying for his father. His family's going through a lot. I like Matt Baker. I wish he would allow more people to talk more. Like, he's kind of a steamroller sometimes, but we generally get along. He made me a pipe. I use it. He's a beautiful glass blower. He has a hobby. He's a glass blower. He's really a tremendous artist. But anyways, that was a part of the infiltration of American society. And that was Stu Peters, who I had 4 debates with. I can't even believe it. You know who I was thinking about the other day, folks? That guy who moderated those, Joel, the UFC fighter. He got kicked out of the UFC for insulting Jimmy Kimmel. Joel Bauman. And the first debate was Stu Peters. That was probably the most legendary content. And he deleted that one. He removed it from the internet because he was so ashamed of himself. That was crazy. That was a crazy moment. But that was like such pinnacle. And that was the Red Heifer. That was all the Red Heifer stuff. And do you remember how much that infiltrated the media cycle? Do you know, we got like 80 million views on that alone. Like, that was so crazy. Those debates were literally geared to try to pogrom Jews. They were so violent with us. And I remember at InfoWars, it was like every single day was Red Heifer, Red Heifer, Red Heifer. They're going to usher in the Antichrist and build the third temple, the synagogue of Satan, the synagogue of Satan. But that's how they gamed the system over a long period of time to divide MAGA, to divide the Republican right, to divide the movement that Donald Trump created, to unify the party and save America. The Save America Party. And they cosplay with all their different names. They call themselves America First. I just saw this thing. I got to show you guys this. Where did I see? I think it was a Palestinian News Network thing. I think I bookmarked it. This was so crazy. Yeah, I bookmarked it. Watch this music video. These guys, this is so funny. Look at with Nico. PNN, Palestinian News Network, and they say America First. And they wave the Iranian flag, Shema Yisrael.
I say whatever I like. That's just a part of my rights. He get mad, he wanna fight. It's cause he don't got use of his mind. Israelis that burn inside. It's plain all the places they hide.
Can you believe this? This is Goyslop. Watch, they call it America First. And it's Iranian flags.
So right now, a patriot really essential. Hey, I'm America First.
America First. And he's waving Iranian flags to Shema Yisrael. And it's Nico. And it's Nico. Look at this is
I
it.
don't got problems with them, but I heard a Shelly got problem with you. The Goyim is constantly screwed. Forever check out the Talmud. It turned out
See?
that one nation could violate
They don't
others
even
and
care. They
gotta
just
prove.
hate
Damn,
Jews
that
so
do not
much.
sound like the God. That do not sound like the God. Sound like the devil. It sound like the fraud. It sound like that midget Shapiro on call.
Oh my God, he's talking about Hashem.
7K do the most.
This guy's
7K
insides
sell
are
the
gonna
whole
burn
man
like
out. Dip it
electricity
out like
is
a hoe.
surged through his body.
I'm America first. I'm America first.
I can't believe he calls himself America First in this video, guys. This is like so crazy. Waving his Iranian flags. But I shouldn't say this out loud because then they're gonna takia all you motherfuckers, and they're actually just gonna wear American flags because they think it's a better strategy. But their America First is Iranian flags, and the Jews, and sneeko, sneeko, sneeko. Look.
They rotten like cavities. They view the women and children with hate. That's a savage
I think
mentality.
Sneeko should comment on this.
What are they practicing? When they be practicing? Yeah. Look. Yeah.
Can you believe this? These motherfuckers, they are so fake.
When them Zionists here, they hurt. I'm America first. I'm America first. I'm America first. When them Zionists here,
These guys make me want to get into rap. Look at this guy. He waves an Iranian flag. Look where they do it too. They do it in the like underground, hiding like rats, because they're just a bunch of rats. On the top level, you got Sneeko. He's just Sneeko, you know. But underneath in the tunnels with the rats, you have them saying America First, waving Iranian flags. These people are fucking traitors. They deserve the death penalty. They straight up deserve the death penalty. Fuck these people. Palestinian News Network. They got into some trouble just today in Beverly Hills. Yesterday, they were out in Beverly Hills. Brutal takedown. I'm going to play this clip on the show live stream because I shared it. This is one of my friends, actually. And I was proud of him that he got straight up in this. He was just like, let me go. Because this is Palestinian News Network. And these motherfuckers, they are so obnoxious. Palestinian News Network shares this. I was so blessed to see this Shayna put on the screen today.
I already go Turkey.
Listen to his argument. This is how to be a real tough
When
Jew.
was it Palestine?
Sir, you read it one more time?
When was it Palestine?
Read it again. Oh my God. Read it again,
When was it Palestine?
When was it Palestine? Was it ever Palestine?
Instagram live. Oh my God, let's see his account, eh?
No, man, chill out.
Let's see
When
his
was it
account,
Palestine?
eh?
What's your name?
This is what
My
Palestinian
name
News
is
Network does.
Abu Ras, eh?
Abu Ras.
They go to kids, they go to people in like very expensive restaurants.
I want to be on your Instagram. Please put me on.
Oh, I bothered them. Look, I bothered
You
them.
know I'm a minor.
Are you a
You're
pedo?
coming here harassing a minor.
When was Palestine?
I can't even believe he put it on. He probably is a pedo.
Look at
What
this
year?
IO trick. Sir, who
What
came
year?
up to who?
What year? What
So
year?
where
What
was
year
your
was
father born?
Palestine
Where was your
established?
father born?
What year was Palestine established? What year was Palestine established? Which year?
Listen,
Who was their
brother.
prime minister?
brother.
This is how you handle it, guys.
What year was it?
Where's your father?
How long was it
Look at
around?
with the smile in his face.
What's
Where's
their
your father
army?
born, brother?
Who's their army?
This is how you
Who's
handle
their
it.
army?
Yeah.
What year was
Where's
Palestine?
your father born?
What year was Palestine?
What year's your
What year was Palestine?
What year's your father
Who
born?
was the president?
Sir.
Who was the prime minister? Get the fuck out of here.
But really, the
There's no
police should be
such
involved
thing as
because people are just like
Palestine.
sitting here. People are sitting there eating. They take them off of their tables, bro. This is at Il Pastel, one of the most expensive restaurants in Beverly Hills.
This exists. Right there.
Goes up there. It's like totally
Right there.
normal to just walk up to a Jew who's sitting down in Palestinian, try to
What year is the
Palestinian
independence?
mog
What day is
them.
your Independence Day?
Palestinian can't
You
mog.
don't have one. You don't have one.
When is the Palestinian Independence Day? You don't have one. Look at him cry like a bitch.
I'm asking you a question.
This is Sneeko's guy.
You're here to bother little kids.
Sneeko put him
You're
on.
here to be a pedophile and bother other little kids. You want to engage? What?
Watch what they do when they get to the table. Look, everybody's sitting there watching this happen have dinner.
Answer a question then. What year is your
He doesn't know if they're gonna pull out a Palestinian thing and fucking do a Sabaro's pizza event.
Palestine? When?
All these people are sitting there, like trying to have a good meal.
What's up, homie?
Every one of these meals is like $300.
Oh, I stepped on your foot. My fault, homie. My bad.
And this Palestinian monkey thinks that this is appropriate. And this is a constant occurrence by Palestinian News Network. And it was Goyim TV before this. It was HT's Goyim TV before this.
They got your Quran. They got your Quran.
And this is what Jews in LA have to deal with on the daily. We have to live under these conditions. This is why I left the city and got a farm. And then watch the response. That's his face. This is his video, right? Look, watch everybody at the tables. They all start singing. All the people eating at the restaurant start singing together. Nobody wants this. They're eating dinner. Leave them alone, you fucking loser.
You guys are not welcome here. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here.
This is the cry. This is him.
Sir, you read it one more
This
time?
is the guy. Put him on blast,
Read it
folks.
again.
Palestinian
Read it
News
again,
Network.
bro.
This is his face.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
When was it Palestine?
Oh my God! Let's see his account, eh?
No, man, chill out.
When was it Palestine?
He's doing this to kids, like people who are like 14 and 15 years
Abu
old.
Ras, eh?
Abu Ras, eh?
Palestinian News Network. Kids, man.
Oh, I bothered
Fucking
them.
kids
I bothered
in
them.
public. He thinks this is okay. Kids eating dinner in a restaurant. This has interrupted the dinner.
Look at this iron trick. Sir, who came up to who?
What year?
Sir, where was your father born? Where was your father born?
What year was Palestine established?
He does this lie. He says, who came up to who? He's sitting there asking people. We all watch him every day. He goes to the members of Congress and everybody with his smug voice.
Where's your father born, bro?
And he does this every day. Sir, can I get your opinion on Palestine?
What year was Palestine?
Sir, you're a
Who was the
douchebag.
president? Who was the prime minister? Get the fuck out of here.
This is sloppy
There's
goy.
no such thing as Palestine. Get
Like
the fuck
sloppy
outta here.
joes.
It doesn't
This guy
exist.
eats like sloppy goys.
It doesn't exist. This exists. This exists. This exists. Right there. Right there. That's a fantasy. What year did it exist? What year is the independence? What day is your independence day?
Ask them for facts. They don't got facts.
You don't have one.
May 5th, 1948.
What day is their day? I could do that too. What day is their day?
Because they don't have an Independence Day. See, he puts the camera in the camera.
How many times? Okay, very good. Where does Jesus live? Where did Jesus live?
Sir,
And this is the most beautiful thing, folks. The whole restaurant is not even a kosher restaurant. It's not even a kosher restaurant, and they're singing Am Yisrael Chai.
You guys are not welcome here. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here.
And this is Beverly Drive.
You're not welcome in Lebanon. You're not welcome in Syria. You're not welcome in Jordan.
Listen to this. You're not welcome in Lebanon. You're not welcome in Syria. You're not welcome in Jordan.
Kicked you out. Egypt has a border.
And look at him. He's like crying. It hurts him.
Don't come next to me. Don't come next to me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. I will motherfucker.
Look at him. He's got like tears in his eyes. There's another part that they go into Muhammad.
Out of my face.
shut your bitch ass up.
Go ahead.
Shut
Go ahead
your
and touch me
bitch
and see
ass
what
up.
happens. Go ahead and touch me.
Look, and then all he could say is, shut your bitch ass
Shut
up.
up, bitch.
Go ahead and touch me. I came to engage because he fucking called me out and he fucking went and recorded all these little kids. Have some fucking balls.
They think that they're tough.
Have some fucking balls.
They
If
think
you
that they're
wanna talk,
tough
then talk.
just using American
Come
laws.
talk.
They think that they're tough because American law protects this.
What year? What year was it established?
And that Jews
What
respect
year
the
was it
law.
established? Who's your prime
They
minister?
think that they're
Who's your
tough because
king?
Jews
Who's
respect
your
the law.
Parliament. You guys don't have shit because you're not a state, not real people. Leave us alone. Get the fuck out of here. 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 You little pedophile. You're a pedophile. Get out of here.
Shut up.
Get out of here, you pedo. Get out of here. Stop recording
drugs.
kids.
You do
Stop
drugs.
recording kids.
You do drugs.
Stop
I don't even
recording
smoke
kids.
cigarettes, you
Look at
fucking
his eyes.
moron.
He does drugs.
I don't even smoke cigarettes.
They literally are just up on the streets going up to kids. We see it every single day. This is like the Goyslap that Elon Musk is platforming to us. Every single one of us, Palestinian News Network, is like up in everyone's feet, non-stop.
Pedophile.
Like, I'm just so sick of it.
Pedophile. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants you pedos here. Nobody wants these pedos here. If you want to talk about Palestine, tell me when it was established. Motherfucker! When was it established? Never.
Look at him like he pumps his head like he's a dog. Look at the dog head pump. Look at the dog head pump. You see that one? You see? You see that? Watch. The dog head face.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Bark, bark.
I know it kills you. I know it kills you. Stop filming little kids, you little fucking pedo.
Look, he's got his phone. He's a 42-year-old man.
He's crashing out.
Your people suck. Your people are fucking Hamas. You're a fucking terrorist. You're a terrorist and a pedophile.
You're a terrorist and a pedophile.
Get the fuck out of Beverly Hills. Nobody wants you. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, amen. Amen. Get the fuck out. No, it's so crazy, guys. It's just so crazy. And this is why I don't go to restaurants. This is why I don't. And it's like, I'm not fucking around, guys. I'm Adam King. I'm not fucking around out here. This is why I don't go out to restaurants so much. Because these motherfuckers are out on the streets looking for Jews, looking for people. They know the faces. They're trying to go up and challenge everybody. The worst is when he goes to D.C. and when he does the congressional stuff and he goes into the lunchrooms and stuff like that. And he films and no officer, America first or Israel first. This motherfucker is so Palestine al-Quds first. It's not even funny. And he goes and he literally tequilas all you guys. And he's like, Israel first or America first? Israel first, sir, Israel first or America first? And the guy's sitting there. He's like, huh? He's like involved in some serious communications thing happening on the Hill. And he's like just on a lunch break catching his breath. And he's like, huh? And the guy's like, Israel first or America first? And he's like, what? And he's like, you're a douchebag. You're a douchebag. And this is like the Goyslop, and it gets fed into the feed every single time. He's either doing that to people in Congress, in the different buildings like Russell and all these other buildings that you clearly see him in, And then he goes to Il Paseo. He goes back home to another trip because he probably lives in LA and does these field trips to DC for content. And he goes back to LA and he sits there and he bugs Jews eating dinner or not even Jews. This gay man, he walked up to these two gay men while having dinner and he just says it. And you know what? I welcome it. It's like, you know what? That's who they are. The public deserves to know who the Palestinians are. These are who they are. That's who they are. They bother everyone. But at some point, we have to get together and just say enough. Enough of the Palestinians, enough of the anti-Semitism. We've had enough. Nicht mit Gornisht. I'm tired of this. It's done. Talking about Nicht mit Gornisht, tune in Thursday. I got Jake Turks coming down to the deli. We're going to go have some deli. I'm going to broadcast that conversation. You know him from Lucas Gage and his big outing. That was the first time that Lucas had some sort of communication with any Jew. It's a great episode. And Thursday, Jake Turks here in Los Angeles, taking him to Delhi. We're going to talk about some shit. I know you're watching, Lucas. I can't wait to see what you got to say. I'm going to call it. This has been a good show. We're ending a little bit early right before the 2-hour mark, but I got some stuff I got to take care of. It's a busy day here in the Empire, ruling as king. I want to say thank you for tuning in every single time. We have so much to say, so much to do, and we have to stick together if we're going to win 2026. There's more important things than what you think because you live on Twitter. Even though I'm here, I'm one of the Twitter characters. I love Twitter, but it's not real. And it's so strange too because it actually governs the social movements of media in America. By far more impactful than Facebook or Meta or Instagram or any of those things as far as determining the course of social movements. But still, it reflects nothing of what's going on in the public. And then we see, like Napolitano, that everything is fake. Everything we've been told is a lie. And with him, it's not even that he doesn't like the Jews. It's that he believes in Khazar theory. How did we believe that he was even smart to begin with? How did he become our judge on Hannity, on all channels? So we're going to commit in the near future and all future shows to really to dissect this. We want a big tent. We don't want to go back to the way things were. But before then, you can expect a victory in Iran, before the 26 elections. Anyways, this was a great show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let's play some music on my way out. Bang it. Let's go shuffle it. How about some shuffle play? Smart shuffle. Go. Play us out, God. I want to thank Will Chamberlain for coming. Please tune in on Thursday. Clip the episodes. Send the clips out. Thank you, Mike Cernovich. Very excited. September's event. Adam King out. Peace.
Something's up. Time's getting harder. See you later. When the sun goes down, the night is close, and I'm by your side. I let myself go, my blood was sure getting low. These fools, cities don't linger around us. Let feelings run away. Nothing I could do make you stay. See you later when the sun goes down. I love you, but you don't know yet. What about you? Let's give us some time. See you later when the sun goes down. The night is close and I'm by your side. I let myself go, my blood was sure getting low. These fools, city, don't linger around us. Let feelings run away. Nothing I could do make you stay. See you later when the sun goes down. Hey, babe, what do you think? Hey, babe, what do you think? Hey, babe, what do you say? Hey, babe, what do you say? Hey, babe, what do you say? One look around and we know it's us. Hey, babe, what do you say? One look around and we know it's us. Hey, babe, what do you say? One look around and we know it's us. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. The night is close and I'm by your side. I let myself go, my blood was sure getting low. These fools, city, don't linger around us. Let feelings run away. Nothing I could do make you stay. See you later when the sun goes down.
some notes there, baby. That was good. We had a lot of fun today. I want to say thank you, guys. Peace out.